Let's take a nice inhale, exhale. We're going to start surrendering and anchoring deeper into the body. Nice and slow with the breath in through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Really feeling into that sit bone as you anchor. Drawing your consciousness down with each breath. And the next inhale, exhale, we're going to move a 24 pointed star sat at the pineal gland, and we're going to start to spin that. With the inhale, exhale, we're going to take it down through your hara line, through your vertical pillar to interconnect with the planetary core. Immediately bringing the hara back through center and realigning the chakra system with the breath. Engaging Maharic frequency back up through the hara and interfacing with the chakra system. Basically resurging life force from the core of the earth back through the energy system, decompressing and realigning. Inhale, exhale. Spin that star. We're going to take it up 6 inches beneath the feet on the next inhale, exhale. Opening up the base of your protective shield at the 12th chakra. Next inhale, exhale, we're going to take the star from the 12th chakra up through the pillar of light, outside of the head, 36 inches above the head, opening up the apex of the shield at the 14th chakra. We're going to interconnect the top with the bottom. So we've got this perfect cylindrical shape. And just recirculating that life force, the Maharic life force, back through the looped protective layer, building your frequency, building your light. Just taking that breath up once again from the core of the earth. We want to really draw up the life force from the core of the earth and just take it up around the back side of the body just to really open out the space. So we've got a nice 360 degrees connection point to the Unus-I. By neutralizing the lesser frequencies to reconnect the source awareness within, which expands the 0 point through the breath, stabilizing neutrality. lifting and releasing out any layers of anxiety stored through the hips, sacral, solar plex, back pain, nerve endings through the left side body, recirculating the Maharic light back through the nerve endings. So we've got lots of tension going over the back left side solar plexus, just interfacing through the right side body. We want to expand and open this out. Mother Mary of Dragons. Victim, persecuted, exhausted, drained feminine consciousness is highlighted here. Loss of will. Highlighted again, bringing to the conscious awareness as we allow this to phase through back side to front side of the body. Deep heart grief, relationship issues, relationship problems, problems at home, many variations that the feminine consciousness has gone through, has strived through, trying to feel whole and fulfilled, yet always being drawn upon through the teat. Deep, deep grief. Processing high levels of lack, becoming aware of that we just want to draw attention to where we feel like we've been kind of completely drained dry through this feminine line. And just honor what she's been through. I'm going to start bringing back in deep compassion and reverence for her journey, for her suffering, and just start to bring back in the love back into that layer of the personal struggles where her needs weren't met. Or she didn't know how to communicate her needs. Solar plexus purging as we're seeing the truth, bringing the life force back into the mother line and through the feminine line, tying into blue ray family healing here. And simultaneously, as we're running through the personality, we're also just taking this up into your mother's ancestral lineage and through the feminine within the father's lineage as well. And we've just got some tightness coming up over the left side abdomen, connecting to the spleen and the pancreas. Moving through detoxification, running gold light, lifting of anxiety and stress, fulfilling with security, inhaling, exhaling to seal the deal, allowing the processing to move through the heart. Muscle tension, back of the neck. God, I'm getting like the imagery of, I can't say this word, it's like from breast cancer, having the breast taken off and seeing the cells in the breast as well, where they were kind of mutating. I'm just seeing a lot of light coming into that as well. And this is opening through the third eye, deep-seated grief, disconnection from motherhood to child, the disconnection between the mom and the child, and then not knowing how to parent, nourish, or nurture the child, which can be symbolic of a physical child or also your inner child as well, feeling disconnected from your inner child there. So we're just starting to reconnect the pathways, reconnect the patterns, and just allowing the Cosmic Mother to show us. As she steps in, humming and singing, to train the child, which is you, how to receive nourishment from the mother and what it should look like if we weren't in a world that's built upon trauma. All the way down the lower back, from the back of the head down to the base of the spine, decompression opening out. Spine feels like it's twisted out of alignment, running gold back through the spinal column, spinning, 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 and resetting the spine, running light through the base of the sacral at the backside. Metallic imprints that are kind of interlocked through the spine. Just opening out there. We're going to take a nice inhale, exhale, drawing life force up and drawing life force down. In through the heart, we've got Bridget, Saint Bridget of Ireland, and her Holy Swan, interconnecting with the heart, flashing with encryption, opening out the waveforms, interlocking back down into the root, allowing the Mother Ray, the triple solar feminine current to reinterface through the base of the spine. Areas of what is presenting as endometriosis, areas of what is presenting of obstructed bowel. These kinds of areas are really highlighted here. Again, connecting back into that pancreas as well, as we're allowing that mother current and the triple solar feminine to move back into place. Right side face, expanding and opening up. Right side head, compressed awareness through the feminine body, compression of the feminine body, where it had been restricted to kind of exist it within a specific framework, which is an imbalance to the gender principle, orchestrated through control structures, and at its core, reversed through artificial intelligence in the oversoul matrix. raising in awareness as the triple solar feminine step forward, realign through the oversoul and interconnect with the triple solar dragon. Cosmic fields opening, or galactic fields opening rather. Running corrections through Akusha matrix, which is the parallel universal structure that sits within our universal quadrant, that operates with a masculine coding. As the repair of the Akasha matrix, our feminine particle-based universe is running corrections with the triple solar feminine, blossoming and expanding through, connecting in with the triple solar dragon. This is then transferring its information across to the neighboring parallel structure and interfacing at the Eka Veka central point of our universal Veka quadrant. Quadrant updating. Sound tones illuminating. And reverberating as gong sound down through the layers of the sound fields, reverberating primal sound tones. Corrective sound tones to the particle, antiparticle, and to the higher heavens. Reissuing hierogamic correction, sacred marriage, between the universal structures. Higher selves to lower selves, interconnecting, flashing with encryption. Okay, that feels really good. So we're just going to allow that just to expand and open there. Everything's starting to smell like peach blossom and roses. Everything's expanding into higher love through the sacred bond of hierogamic union, and that is then transferring into the polarity fields that are then dragging up the polarized information that is intentionally oppositional and not at peace with itself. This happens on a personal level where we fight ourselves and find ourselves running in all different directions and not being able to align. And also when we hold consciousness within ourselves that is projective and digressive to love. Just coming up for processing, feeling this through the heart. And layers of forgiveness moving into the heart there, where we've been at battle with ourselves. Saying that we aren't enough to ourselves, or that there's always something better we can do, rather than appreciating what we are doing. And this oppositional force is basically breaking down the harshness that we hold within ourselves. and the pain that it's connected into, which would then feed into the shadow body. We're just coming into acceptance for it, forgiveness to ourselves for the critique that we play. That is transitioned down from the parental ancestral structures and experienced through the epigenetic. It's allowing the memories just to flash and pop up around. Which is then triggering up the grief held within the pain, the reaction that would come out through the pain. Because we know that this is not our truth at all. And this is where the mother comes back in now and provides compassion, compassionate thinking. We're able to reflect back into ourselves. Elevating the burnout to come into the awareness, the exhaustion, the helpless and hopeless for change. And we're just going to challenge that narrative that plays out in our heads. That sits as a standstill until we do choose to do something about it. Ultimately, this bubbles down into victimization. And I want to go into that victimization. Victimization has been generated from layers of lack and abuse. That has basically kind of over time created a kind of complex post-traumatic stress within the structure, which on a personal level that can manifest as kind of chronic disease or chronic illness, inflammation, things like that. But what I'm being kind of drawn into with this is actually the Blue-ray family line, the mother line of all of the abuses that she's kind of been entrenched in by first being separated from the unified family mind at the 7th dimensional level. Unified mind of the planetary logos. So we're going to work with this, repairing this logos by upgrading our belief systems to shift that higher harmonic. And the first thing we're going to go in here with the planetary logos is that we are working very, very hard to bring us back together, to unify the collective field, to unify the planetary mind. And just through invocation of that starts to trigger the awareness of the planetary mind. And just like how we've worked very hard to heal ourselves, we've worked very hard to raise our consciousness, raise our vibration, we can then send that back to our childhood selves, our epigenetic selves that have experienced trauma and experienced hardship to say, hey, we made it through and we're going to keep going. And just highlighting the parts of self that have really felt like they can't see themselves moving forwards, that they cannot find their way through the pathway. We're just going to bring in trust and faith, because where we are today has definitely achieved that somewhat. On one level or another, there has been an achievement. And we want to relay that information back to past self, upgrading and updating the belief systems of past self, high levels of anxiety releasing through the root and sacral. As we start to strip out and update the survival consciousness to, actually, I've done it. I have made it through one way or another. Updating the belief systems updates the structure. One way or another, I have discovered a level of self-worth that I didn't see in my teenage years. Updating the belief system. One way or another, I have found love within myself that I didn't have when I was a child or a teenager. Updating the belief systems. Updating the awareness. Relaying back up the spectrum, back into the planetary mind, back through the Blu-ray family line. And this begins to create an opening point to connect the most evolved of the mother lineage, to connect down to the personality, creating a vertical pathway, expanding life force, expanding light, expanding love to move into the system. And we're just going to bring that down and just have it sitting within you instead of separate. Opening up that cosmic mother consciousness through your systems, clearing through the spine, feeling it through. Triggering up levels of low self-worth to rise to the surface. Low self-worth in process, anxiety and fear around the low self-worth. And that's triggering up the resistance to accept mother's love. And she's saying, you're receiving this because you are it. That's triggering up a central nervous system response, a shaking, the release of grief, the release of kind of resistance to mother. And that can be projected through earthbound mothers, because they too were based upon trauma. And didn't know fully how to communicate themselves. Which then creates that separation between the child and the mother, or the separation between the divine feminine, rather than sitting in separation, rather than within sisterhood. We're just updating the bond there of what it should truly feel like. And just releasing out the distrust, releasing out the victimization through the new understanding that everybody's going through their own personal evolutionary journey. And nobody had a handbook to do that. Crown chakra unlocking. Pain body highlighted. It's allowing lots of gold light just to phase through the pain body, which feels like a very tight spikes of reactive tears and victimized tears. And as this is being processed forward through the chakra system, we're then looking back to the planetary mind. And this is creating a hierogamic bond where the feminine felt disconnected from her divine partner in that planetary mind, is starting to create the threads and the bonds to build this back together. Which again is processing through with forgiveness. And understanding to the bigger picture. This is giving me real heart pain as well. So we just allow that to phase through the body, knowing that we are completely safe to feel the shock. Feel the betrayal. Just takes a witnessing for everything just to phase out. We're also just going to connect into the second stargate of the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And just allow this sacred Christed feminine consciousness to phase in, rebuking Black Lilith. I release, revoke, and rescind all oaths, vows, agreements, contracts, covenants with Black Lilith. Oh. Phasing through into Sarasota, second Stargate, and to Easter Island. Dan Yamata Mana Altura. Inhaling, exhaling, once again rebuking. Any of the feminine consciousness being harvested, harnessed through Black Lilith, through Baphomet structures, release, revoke, rescind, all access, all agreements within the shadow body in which the feminine essence has been targeted, pulled into, and used as a tool to power up and harness charge for the anti-life demonic birthing entities like Baphomet, like Black Lilith. Let's go ahead and tilt your heads back. Allow the throat to really open there. Nice deep breaths. When you feel like your neck is kind of sorted out, just bring your head back down the way that it should stand. We're just going to come back to that 12D shield and just amplify the frequency there. Building charge once again. Rebuking any kind of entity structures or entity faces that are coming in, like the jester. Okay, the next phasing, we're going up through the vertical pillar and connecting to the 6th and the 7th layer, where there is an interface of information with what looks like Yaldabaoth, actually. Yaldabaoth, it's the kind of the archon, the chief archon, who would pair with Black Lilith as the masculine counterpart within that. And here we've got the Holy Father stepping in and merging back down through the layers, interconnecting with the Mother at the planetary mind, and then also running down through the chakra system. And here we're going to go ahead through the masculine counterpart. I release, revoke, and rescind all oaths, vows, agreements, contracts, covenants, known and unknown, to allow the masculine energy to be played through the Yaldabaoth as a creator, a demiurge creator of dark entities paired with Black Lilith. And then the unholy trine, we're going to go to Azazel, release, revoke, and rescind any and all oaths, vows, agreements, contracts, and covenants in which you have created anti-herogamic splits. We do not consent to this. As the Holy Mother and the Holy Father interface, interconnect, reconnect, and begin to birth through the Christ Sophia. And we're just going to take that information over to the 5th Stargate of Lake Titicaca. Inhale, exhale. You may start to feel a bit of like electrical impulses around through the left side body here. We're just going to claim the space. Own your body. We're also being met with a bird of paradise here that I've never actually seen before. And this is like almost like a kind of peacock bird, but with a like a red body and like a peach kind of feather plumage around the face that's coming in just to support the interconnection and amplify the frequency. This feels like it holds multiple different levels of consciousness within it. The ruby coming in from the Holy Father, but the peach coming in from Solar Dragon Merida. Which is then amplifying the frequencies of the Holy Mother, Holy Father. Taking a nice inhale, exhale, we're going to draw up the life force again from the core of the earth. Just recirculate through your shield. Any kind of horned grey beings just phasing out with the light as it comes in, claiming back your body in space. Releasing through anxieties. And just correcting the bond through the 7th level, vertically and horizontally. Inhaling, exhaling. It feels like we're almost complete. Emerald light rays begin to span through. Nature in her emerald green grass hues elevate the consciousness and reconnect up into the body, into the light workers. Supporting regenesis, raising the frequency. We're then connecting through into an astral kind of, well, into like a fairy fey domain, which I feel is kind of a representation of our kind of more true organic selves in this instance. And as they come into the awareness, we've then just got the saging of the field to clear it out, and with the earth elemental sprites, claiming back the fields of creation for the divine, seeing the source light, just reconnect within the cells of the elementals. And updating within the plutonic solids. And this is varying between the hexahedron and I believe the octahedron. So the earth and air element seems to be correcting and updating. And as it does, we've got a phasing through of matter once again. So we've come from elemental Fey domain to geometric plutonic solids, and then going into holographic pink solar frequency, which is then connecting behind that with the aurora. And that aurora is then phasing back through and re-encrypting through the Platonic solids, updating through all fields, updating through all localized grids. Body's feeling nice and light. A little bit confused by the end, but I think that's part and parcel with the decoding. As a big chunk of the reversal and the separation energy has been brought back into synthesis, realigning the hirogamic patterning within, updating through all fields. We want to bring that back into the body now and update through the physical body, update through all bodies, update through all fields, through all localized grids, seal forward now through all levels or layers of light, through all bodies, through the breath of the divine, unisize, source field, intelligence, inhale, exhale, recode, release, and seal through the holy matrimony of Holy Mother, Holy Father. Thank you all so much.